What's good, party people? This is Voodoo in the Woods. I'm according to the Woods, and he is former U of MMA champion Pius Inalalobo, better known as Voodoo Maximus. And we are talking about something a little bit different than we normally do, but Bellator, the first big Bellator of the year. We've got a double title fight. I mean, similar to what we just saw with Francis Ngannou and Cyril Gane in the UFC, we got with Bellator because we actually have Ryan Bader defending his heavyweight championship against Valentin Moldavsky, and Moldavsky also has a version of the Bellator championship, and he basically earning that when Ryan Bader was defending and unfortunately got defeated for the Bellator light heavyweight championship, because during that time of McGregor and everybody was like, I want to be double champion and blah, 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 whatever. Bader's like, yeah, let me do that, and knock out Fedor and all that jazz. So he ended up becoming the light. Actually, he was like 3 championships of Bellator lineage. He had the light heavyweight, the heavyweight, and the heavyweight Grand Prix. So
right.
So he actually had 3. Right, absolutely. So he actually had 3 titles in Bellator. But yeah, man, it's a wild time. This is Bellator's first show of 2020, and it's off with a banger. And you can catch this on Showtime if you haven't. I haven't. This one is worth the price of admission.
Definitely. I look forward to checking out these new prospects. Bellator brings a different flavor. They got their own lane that they stick to. I like that. They're doing their thing, and we about to get into it. Let's do this.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're starting off. You were talking about prospects. That's pretty apropos, because in the 205-pound division, we have 2-0 Sullivan Cauley, who he trains with Ryan Bader out there in Arizona. Which, funny enough, this fight card taking place in Arizona. I believe it's Phoenix. Yes, that's right. It's going to be in Phoenix. So this is kind of a Bader, kind of a Bader heavy card where, yes, he's defending his championship, or, unifying the heavyweight title, so to speak. But also he's got a lot of his gym colleagues in here with him on this card. And Sullivan Cauley is one of them. So there's not too much of Sully's career that we could go over. But this gentleman starts his MMA career in the year of 2018, where he actually fights in a Tough Enough in Vegas. That's where he makes his MMA debut as an amateur. Then he went to WFC. That is a promotion that travels here, there, wherever you are, as Celine Dion says, and My Heart Girl Go On. But he fights in actually WFC events in State Line, Nevada, right? That was his second MMA fight in total, but that was like amateur. Then he fights in WFC 95, WFC 100, and then he returns to Tough Enough, where he unfortunately loses via unanimous decision, and then rounding out his amateur career on the Arizona circuit, he basically fights at Rough MMA 36, where he KOs James Gomez, right? And this gentleman, maybe because of the Bellator, the Bellator tie-in with Ryan Bader, who Bader not only multiple time champion consecutively, but also one of the commentators there at Bellator. He makes his professional debut at Bellator 253, in fact, with the first round KO of Jason Markland, and then hits another KO at Bellator's 268 against Dion Clash. Right, so this is his first fight. First fight of 2022, but third fight for Bellator.
Hmm. Yes, indeed, indeed. So I'm looking at this lineup here, and Ben Parrish seems to be of the grappling or submission uh, dominant type individual. And then we have Sullivan, who seems to be more of a striker, because when you look at his record, it's all knockouts, or it's kill or be killed with him. He's either going to destroy you or you destroy him, and he doesn't lose very often, as you can see. As a professional, he's 2-0. So I'm also looking at both of them. Parrish doesn't look to be in the best shape. I think it's a major indicator of performance. It's not the gospel truth, but usually bet on the other guy that's shredded. So I'm gonna pick Sullivan Paulie to win this one, maybe by decision.
Now, it's pretty interesting that you equate the body type because we have seen in past guys like Daniel Cormier, Fedor
Tyson Fury.
Emelianenko, right, Tyson Fury, as guys that might have fully entrenched dad bods, right? And
Hmm.
those when those guys win, all the fat guys unite. You're like, I look like him. Whoa, yeah, right up, right. But I mean, do you think that that helps or hurts a fighter early on in their career, in your opinion?
um, I think the more body weight that is dropped, the better, especially fat. You know what I mean? Um, uh, it's a dangerous thing to go in that cage, and to me, if you're carrying body fat like that and you're fighting, I don't think you've given it everything that it needs. I think there's another level you can hit. You know, so that's my take on it.
I like it. Everybody's got an opinion. It's just, again, for me, it's just wild because a perfect fighter, in terms of, there is, I think there's almost no such thing as a perfect fighter. You can be a world champion, Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, practitioner. You could be a KO artist. You could, look like you've been carved from granite, and you can look like you've been, you know, out there eating, Milky Ways and ding dongs and what have you, and you could be a champion or you could be a schlub.
True.
You could be somebody who knocks around heads in the gym and then can't turn it on when the bright lights go up, and or vice versa. There's so much, right? There's so many little nuances, intricate and finite nuances to the sport of MMA, right? Martial
Mhm.
arts in general, but definitely the sport of MMA. That again, it's still, I mean, I'm very much a fan, and it's intriguing as shit to me.
Mhm. Most definitely. Most definitely.
Yes,
So, which one of these two dudes do you pick, though?
I'm gonna go with fat guy. I mean,
Okay.
I know, and I'm sorry I call you fat Ben Parrish. Um, no, but I'm a biggie. I'm a big
Okay.
boy. A big little guy. So
This.
I want that guy to win. Now, mind you, Bellator. Nothing against Bellator, but
Right.
uh, one could make an argument that they do have favorable fights
Yeah.
to people that they were trying to push, very
Yep.
similar to that of the early onset careers of a lot of boxers, right? Where you get
Mhm.
favorable fights, build up a
Mhm.
decent record, and then become a world beater. Now, obviously, there's exceptions to the rule, as we saw in AJ Mckee in his division.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, nothing against Volk, and I learn not to pick against Volkanovski again. He's a lot more personable and what have you. But for my money, AJ Mckee is the best in that fucking division in the world. You know, you put him against you have him and Holloway, that's gonna be doing gangbusters. Him and fucking Volkanovski, especially after Volkanovski's last win, he looked the fucking best, you know, and but you know, in the auspices of the UFC essentially being the best place for top tier mixed martial arts talent, well, there's one that's fucking slipped away, and that's AJ Mckee.
Yeah, the good thing is AJ Mckee is still very young. He's just hopping into his prime. He hasn't even really started yet. AJ Mckee hasn't even really started yet. This is just the tip of the iceberg. It goes deep. You know what I'm saying? The young man is still growing. You know, he's still in his 145-pound body.
Yeah.
This is how you know it's just the beginning. He's gonna fill in, and then he's gonna move on to 55, and then you're gonna see a terror. That's what's gonna happen. Like Charles Oliveira. Remember Charles Oliveira used to be really skinny? And then he filled in. Now he's a 55 champion. And that's how it goes. AJ Mckee is on the path just like that. Just like that. You know, he's unpredictable. The unpredictability in his striking makes him unique. And that's why he's champion. And I say, if he was to come to the UFC, 5 immediately, within 2 fights, he gets a title shot. Because in his own right, he's a champion. If not an immediate shot. You know what I'm saying? The kid is good. It is what it is. We got to call a spade a spade. And, that's all I got to say about that.
There it is. And the consistent Takeo Pal saying, hey guys, horse you, but I'm here. Hashtag #1 fan. No, we appreciate the heck out of you. And of Voodoo. There you go. Absolutely love that you're jumping on. But speaking of jumping on, we have the second fight of this card. We have Ben Lugo 5-4 against the undefeated Lucas Brennan, right? Lugo is coming out of top-notch MMA, which I've never heard of until right now. But Justin J. Train Gonzalez, the former LFA champion, trains out of there. That is the only kind of notable person outside of Ben Lugo. Like those are the top two. Ben Vom Brauer, I've never heard of the gentleman. They're top notch, I guess. Right on. But this one kind of feels like a setup because Lucas Brennan, even though Lugo is a 9-fight veteran, Skywalker is a perfect 5-0, and he is he isn't. To the ladies, he might be easy on the eye, right? Tons of personality, and if you're Scott Coker, the matchmakers at Bellator, you're like, hey, there, you see what we've done with AJ Mckee. It was a slow burn, let him simmer. We might have something with Lucas Brennan as well, right? So, I mean, Jesus Christ, I'm going with the Skywalker, man, Lucas Brennan, because I mean nothing against Ben Lugo. I don't know. This one kind of feels like this is Lucas Brennan's a fight to win. Pardon the pun.
Hey, man, it is what it is. If it ain't broke, don't try and fix it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? We're not gonna go against perfection, man. 5-0 is 5-0. It is what it is. 5-0 is better than 5-4. It is what it is. So
Yeah,
yes, there is an experience factor, but I don't care. I'm
yeah,
going with Lucas Brennan as well.
yeah. That's it. That's a unanimous pick here. And
Mm-hmm.
Takea says, "Oh, you two Woods. Oh, you know what? You get Mario Yamasaki's from me. Uh, and I'm sorry. I'm tired. I didn't mean to write that word. Sorry. Nah, you're good. It's no, man. We could have favorites. I mean, I might have my favorite kid, and I'm not gonna tell anyone that. But you know, it's just I got my favorite puppy. I'm just saying. I don't tell the other puppy that. I don't know, but I'm just saying. But yes, uh, going from Lucas Brennan and Ben Lugo, this
Mhm.
is interesting, right? Because
Yeah,
again,
yeah.
if it isn't, if it isn't, you know, the teammates of one Ryan Darth Bader, it seems like it's the teammates of the other gent who's the interim
Mhm.
champion,
Mhm.
Valentin Moldavsky, right?
Mhm.
Because you have Blaine the Shutdown Shut. I love that
Mhm.
name. He worked his last name
Mhm.
into his fight name. I like it. But
Yeah.
and he's going against Nikita Mikhailev, right?
Mhm.
And Mikhailev, man, 8-1, almost a damn undefeated record, right?
Right.
Um, and this is a guy who spent a large part of his career at Fight Nights Global, which kind of leads me to believe he might be one of those Russian cats that trains with Fedor Emelianenko.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
you know, if not
Mhm.
Moldavsky himself, right? So,
Mhm. Mhm.
ooh, I mean, I'm
This.
not saying I'm not saying that the other gent doesn't have a fucking chance in the shutdown, but I
Yeah.
I almost feel like this is where Blaine shut down moniker actually works
Mhm.
against him because I think the Russian is going to just shut him down.
a it's a case of a striker in the Russian versus the grappler in Blink Shuts. Um, there's a high probability that this Russian fella has very good wrestling, at least decent enough wrestling to defend against a takedown or a guard shoot.
Right.
So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He'll be able to keep the fight standing. And since he's a striker, he's going to strike the bejesus out of Mr. Shutdown. Hence, shutting down Mr. Shutdown.
Right.
Uh, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a KO in the second round.
You know what? It's funny, right? Because the Russians, they are known, that whole kind of Eastern Bloc, they're known for
Mhm,
their wrestling, right? And I
mhm,
mean, Nikita definitely has his fair share of unanimous decisions, right? But way
mhm,
back in 2016 at Steel Battle, he did um, KO in like literally 30 seconds of the first round, Petor Birko, right? So
mhm,
he
mhm,
does have that capability. I would love nothing more than to see a wrestle heavy Russian, just go out there and fucking throw hands. I mean, I'm again, I'm not in this particular instance.
mhm,
That CTE that I always talk about and what have
mhm,
you. You can fucking put that shit on the back burner is what I'm saying,
mhm,
because just like we saw with Francis Ngannou last week, where we like, oh,
mhm,
it's gonna be a fucking KO, and he fucking
mhm,
flips the script
mhm,
on all of us, right? So expect the
mhm.
unexpected, right? So
Mhm,
let's get wild. I like that.
mhm.
So what round does it happen, Voodoo?
I
That
think
KO
second, man. Second.
second? Yeah,
Mhm,
yeah.
mhm.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go there as well. 100%.
Mhm,
Yeah. And it says, you guys make me laugh. I'm so happy to see you. So happy to
mhm.
see you, sis. Like, you're awesome. And anybody that doesn't tell you you're awesome, I don't know. I don't know what to tell them. They're not on the right frequency, is what I'm saying. Oh yeah. Yeah. So that is dig it. Yeah. Yes. So dig it that Blaine is getting shut down by Nikita. Right on. I like it. Now this one is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
In the 185-pound division, we have Dwayne. I hope the Rock Johnson. Yes, not the one that you all know and love. Another one. This is. I mean, if you wanted Goldberg, this guy is definitely Gilbert. He's definitely Gilbert, man. 185. I think one of the Rock's biceps is 185 pounds. You know, it's okay, man. I mean, good. I mean, if you got the name, literally the name of Dwayne Johnson, fucking roll that fucking dice, motherfucker. Kudos, man. Kudos on you. Now, here's the crazy thing about Dwayne the Rock Johnson. He comes out of the Disorderly Conduct gym in Omaha, Nebraska, right? Okay. So nothing to speak of, but the people that he kind of has in his camp. Look at this guy, Alonzo AAA Martinez. Like 47, 23, and 1? These fuckers fight forever. Like fucking fans at the Tokyo Dome during Wrestle Kingdom fight forever. These 47 and 23, this shit is like in Dan Severn levels of fucking competition. This is fucking wild. And then you go to the next one down the line. It's fucking wild. Matt MFD Delanoy, 27 and 14 with 1 no contest. Ryan, are you ready? Roberts, 21, 12, 1 and 1. Fucking hell. These guys just fight forever.
Straight up.
Holy shit. Oh,
fight every month.
Every month. I mean, for real though. It's yeah. So that is Dwayne the Rock Johnson, right? On the other side of the docket, we have one Dalton Rosa, undefeated Dalton Hercules Rosa. Jesus Christ, this motherfucker looks like those myostatin inhibited cows. You know those big ass buff cows that look like they're on roids. That's what this fucking guy looks like.
Hey, he looks like Hercules.
He does. Legitimately.
He looks like Hercules.
Legitimately.
Hey,
hell.
He straight comes to smash. All he does is smash. Smash.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, he's not dominating you completely. Doctor stoppage, ground and pound, knee injury, knockout. Did not answer the bell. He beat him so bad, he didn't want to come fight anymore. This is what this guy brings to the table, and he's gonna be going in there against The Rock. You know what I'm saying? It's really hard for me to go against perfection, man. It's hard for me to go against perfection. Dwayne Johnson is a complete fighter. He's got submission finishes. He's got knockout finishes. I'm not going against a Hercules. I think Hercules can break a rock. That's what I think. Hercules can break a rock, and he's going to stop him no later than the second round.
I like it. And you know what's even crazier about Hercules, right? But Dalton Rosa actually has a win in the amateurs against one Cody Brundage, who's in the UFC right now as we speak, and at a pretty good pretty good showing out in the Dana White Contender Series, and is of the Factory X Muay Thai gym, down there in Colorado, right under Mark Montoya, and they've been fucking kicking all types of shit. Brundage, obviously our guy Royval, right, the Raw Dog and shit like that. So the fact that he beat Cody Brundage in amateurs and KOs him, shit me, dude. Yeah, Dalton Rosa. Dalton Rosa, man.
He's an assassin.
I
Dalton
think so.
Rosa, Rasta, or whatever, Justin Rasta. He's an assassin.
Dusty Wrestler. That Dusty Wrestler. Hercules Dusty Wrestler. That one. I'm going to go
That's
for
the
that
one.
one. That's the
the
one.
one. Let's
It's the
go.
one, Billy Gunn.
Yeah.
But speaking of the one, holy shit, 6-1, Chris Gonzalez goes up against that's CG Gonzalez to you, training out of Team Alpha Male. He was a former Bellator bantamweight champion, right? Up until that fucking loss in the the super fight. We had Goto Yamaguchi against who was the Risen fucking champion, right? And or am I remembering that right? I want to
believe
say,
so.
wait, no, that can't be right because it says that Goatee. Oh no, that was that weird fucking the weird strike. The weird strike in that fucking him and Goatee Yamaguchi. That fucking
He lost, right?
yeah. Obviously he lost, but the way that fucking Goatee got him, it was a viral clip. I can't remember what the fuck it was, but it was something wild, almost like the fucking Sergio Pettis, But if Chris Gonzalez CG wanted to run at the Bellator title, I mean, you kind of have to start at your former champions, which he's doing at this current incarnation of Bellator because he's going up against Saad Awad. Saad, 24-13-0. Again, former Bellator world champion, training out of Rancho Cucamonga at Millennia MMA. Man, he's been in there with the likes of Paul Daly, Goldie Yamaguchi, Benson Henderson, Ryan Couture, JJ Ambrose, Zach Freeman, Brendan Ward. Talk about a former champion there. Patricky Pitbull, Evangelista Santos, Cyborg's ex-husband.
Cyborg.
Jesus Christ. Ill Will Brooks, Dave the Caveman Rickles. We're talking about like the old school on MTV2 days of Bellator when Dave Rickles used to come out with the fucking Flintstone car and shit like that. Like fun shit, man.
You know who else is on this list? Nam Fam. Shout out to Nam Fam.
Fam, holy
Fam's
shit.
on this list. For
Yeah,
real.
he is. Wow.
Way back in 2008.
Yeah. And then also because, he spent so much of his time, right, in in Bellator and is a former Bellator champion, but you got to remember he was back on the Ultimate Fighter season 16. So he did have a short run in the in the UFC, right? An exhibition match. But still, man, like Sadawad has been in there with some of the best to ever do it. Jesus Christ, man. He's a legend. The assassin is a legend. You can't tell me any fucking different. And one of the nicest guys ever. Like, he's so good. So good. God, this one I'm torn, right? Because Chris Gonzalez before Goatee was undefeated, right? But look at the fucking experience of Sadawad, man. And the same argument could be made on both fighters, right? Because you're like, Chris Gonzalez is so great. He just lost one fight, right? And again, Sadawad is right. He got caught, right? Sadawad, great fighter. You can't get to 24-3 with one world title, and and at this, I mean, yes, he's 38, which is young normally, but in fight years, it's fucking gazillion. And he fucking knocked out Nate Andrews in his last fucking fight, first round. Like Sadawad still has what it takes to be one of the best in Bellator, right? If not the world, man. I'm nothing against the Chris Gonzalez, right? This is a battle of California, a team Millennium MMA of the Southern California against Team Alpha Male of the North in Sacramento. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with, I reside in Southern California, even though I was born in Northern California. I'm going with Sadawad.
Yeah. Um, yeah, like you said, man, the Chris Gonzalez, a win for him will be great for his career because of the experience factor
Yeah.
that Awad is bringing to the table. Awad has the most to lose in this matchup. He's going in there against a young buck, but an experienced young buck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's used to winning. He's coming off a loss, so he's gonna want to get that back, especially against a Saad Awad. So
Yeah.
um, it's a tough one. You know what? I'm gonna go 50-50 with you on this one, man.
Okay.
I'll go Chris Gonzalez. I
Okay.
think I think even though Saad is the veteran and more established, I
Right.
think this kid is he's got a desire more than Saad. Saad is going in to win a match. This kid
Yeah.
wants a spot at the table. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that I think he's gonna push a little bit more based on that, but we'll see.
Yeah, no, 100%. And that's what I love about the sport. One of the many things that I
Hmm.
love about the sport is like we'll
Hmm.
see. Everything can change by the time the
Hmm.
cage tour or the Bellator cage. Shout out to Michael C. Williams, the
Hmm.
voice of Bellator.
Hmm.
Until that fucking cage door closes, anything can happen. And once it
That's
does
right.
close, another fucking pantheon of things can happen. So again, I absolutely love it. But you got Chris Gonzalez, I got the assassin Sadawad, and we will see on Sunday
Hmm.
who wins. Just saying. Uh,
Most deaf.
Absolutely. But speaking of like experience, man, Enrique Barzola, right? El
Uh-huh.
Fuerte, right? Training out of American Kickboxing Academy, better known as AKA, right? This is actually his UFC debut. I mean, Bellator debut after that draw with Ronnie
Absolutely.
Yaya
Mm-hmm.
um, back in 2020, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
so this is his debut, but
Mm-hmm.
man, the deck is stacked because he's got the Wolf, former Bellator bantamweight champion Darion Caldwell, out
Mm-hmm.
of Jesus. Oh, it looks like Caldwell is trading out of Stanford. Oh shit. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so obviously, Jesus Christ.
New Jersey.
He was there in the Inland Empire with those the team that has Jesus Christ, Bobby Green and Kevin Holland and
Mm.
um God, what's his? I have his face in his. I mean, my Pinnacle. Pinnacle. He
Mm.
was training out of
Mm.
Pinnacle in the IE. Um, Also, Jamal Emmers, the pretty boy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it looks like he's moved down to South Florida with Henry Hoops and Sanford, training with fucking Chandler and all them. Like
Mm.
that's wild. That's wild. But again, he's a former champion, not having trained there. And for a time, um, Darion Caldwell during his time at Pinnacle,
Mm-hmm.
Jacob Bainey, shout out to Jacob Bainey, the head coach. They would cross train with CSW, right? And Ben
Mm.
Jones. So that's a wealth of experience in not just Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, but catch wrestling, which
Mm-hmm.
I'm a fucking purveyor of. I love it, right? Catch
Yeah.
wrestling, that fucking dirt, like fucking face lock shit and nasty
Yeah.
ass knee bars and arm bars and gravis and shit and whatever, double wrist locks all day. So,
Mm-hmm.
with that all being said, he's taking that to South Florida and,
Mm-hmm.
improving his striking with Henry Hooft, a trainer of
Mm-hmm.
many world champions. God, that's so good. Like,
Mm-hmm.
shit, me, dude. I'm going with the Wolf on this one.
Okay, okay. I'll get you a 50-50 split on this one.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, well, what's that Javier Mendez gym called again?
Yeah,
AKA,
AKA.
AKA. The fact that they get to work with those Dagestani boys,
Yeah, that
it's a
too.
huge advantage. It's a huge advantage. It's a huge advantage against Americans. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
this is why I feel it's worthy of a 50-50 split. You know what I'm saying?
No,
So yeah.
you're absolutely right. But
Hmm.
and you speak about kind of an international flavor, right?
Hmm.
Well,
Hmm.
that's exactly what Calder. I mean, if what the topology says is true, and he's
Hmm.
training at Sanford, right? Well, you
Hmm.
got Henry Hoofs, who's got that fucking Dutch style kickboxing.
Yes, 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 yes.
So you got
But
fucking Dagestani wrestling versus Dutch kickboxing. This is the type of shit that makes me a fucking fan, right? This
and,
is Styles make fans fights
yeah,
to the umpteenth
yeah,
degree. Like I
yeah,
don't know
yeah,
what the fuck is gonna happen. Like we're making our
yeah,
picks, but I really don't know. I'm fucking intrigued as fuck. Fuck, I
yeah.
got goosebumps. This is
Th-
nuts.
this is gonna be a mixed martial arts fight. Whoever has the better scrambles is gonna win this particular fight. Um, I don't think it's gonna be settled in the striking sphere. It's gonna be in the clinch. It's gonna
Yeah.
be, you know what I mean. It's gonna be in the clinch. It's gonna be taking them to the ground and grinding them out. Type. Can you stand back up if you're a striker? It's gonna be that kind of thing. We'll see. We'll see. But I'll go Enrique Barzola on this one.
Okay. I like
Hmm.
it, man. I like it. And I like it. You presented a very plausible fucking argument that I didn't even
Hmm.
kind of take into account. So I appreciate
Hmm.
I appreciate the fuck for schooling me on this one
Hmm.
because that's a whole dimension that I didn't even fucking think of. God, I'm so like I'm gonna. This might be a fucking fight of the night, man. Like
Might be. Might be. Yeah.
this is very good.
Hmm.
This is tremendous. This is again. I got goosebumps fucking talking about it because this is the type of shit that again it just intrigues me. I like the fact I don't know the fucking answer. Like I'm picking
Hmm.
Caldwell. I've
Hmm.
interviewed him in the past. I've been fortunate enough
Hmm.
to do so.
Hmm.
Great guy, and again, Henry Hoof. But fuck that Dagestani wrestling and Dutch kickboxing. You got to remember, fucking Javier Mendez is a fucking Muay Thai kickboxing legend
Champion.
in his own right.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yes. Ah, this is
Hmm.
so good. This is so fucking good, man. I'm excited for this fight. Jesus Christ. Woo,
Hmm.
woo, buddy,
Hey,
man.
you know that guy? You know that guy? Jesus Christ!
Yeah.
Jesus Christ!
Jesus Christ. Good God.
We love
Yeah,
you,
that guy.
God.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Servant, Mike Servant. Mike Servant is his name. Mike Servant. Jesus Christ!
Jesus Christ. Hell yes.
We love you,
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. That's what I got.
Power of
Breakdance.
God.
Yeah. Be quiet. There we go. 10 points.
Shout out to Mike
Yeah.
Servant. Shout out to Mike Servant.
Yeah, man. And his tattoos on the face. You know how I love those, right? Um, Anywho, we got in the main card, we have the 15-3 Jaleel Willis, right? Jaleel, the
Mhm.
realest Willis. And he is going up against Sabahu Masi. And again, this one also could be fight of the night. Now,
Mm.
Willis, cut his teeth in LFA, extensive career in LFA, as well as a run in the World Series of Fight, the
Mm.
precursor to PFL, right? The Professional
Mhm.
Fighters League.
Mhm.
Um, it's been in there with Omar Johnson, Kyle Stewart, um, Harvey Park, Dakota Bush. Remember Dakota
Mhm.
Harry
Yeah,
Bush
I remember
over in the
him.
UFC, right?
Mhm.
James
Mhm.
Warfield Lane.
Mhm.
Um, Jesus Christ. Been in there with Michael Mendonca.
Mhm.
I believe Macon is a former LFA champion, right?
Mm.
And kind of so I mean he's been in there with some top tier talent, right? Now, unfortunately, his record going against Russian fellows isn't so great because he lost to Makhmed Berkamov back at Bellator 268 via guillotine choke, right? Now he's facing Sabah Homasi, who's 15-10. The Sleek Sheik has a professional fighting career, literally 25 fights deep, training out of American Top Team. Fortunately, the record hasn't been too kind to him. Paul Simtic's Daily KOs him at Bellator 257 in April of last year. And then Andrei Korshkov, he basically beat him by unanimous decision, right? But before that, Sabah Homasi beat KO'd Bobby Volker, beat Curtis Millender via unanimous decision. So he's been in there with some awesome fucking people in his own right, but Jesus Christ, Jaleel, the realist, man, I think is, and this is nothing against Sabah Homasi, right? But he's got a lot less damage, because Sabah is coming in with almost a 50-50 record, right? And yeah, I got Jaleel on this one. It's gonna be a unanimous decision, but it's gonna be Jaleel. Unless Jaleel fucking, finds his chin and makes Sabah Homasi go night, kind of.
I see.
Yeah,
I see a vicious stoppage in the second. Vicious.
Really?
I see a
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I see Jaleel being extremely fast and overrunning his opponent, just running them clean over.
I like where you're going
in the second round.
Okay.
I also choose Jaleel.
Okay. No, that's a consensus pick. It's just how it happens is a little bit different. Voodoo says, I mean, now that you say it, it makes a little bit more sense, but I'm going to stick to my guns and say unanimous decision. But I'm absolutely, I'm not going to lie. I think your scenario is a little bit more real.
But you know what? At the end of the day, they're all theories until these men get in that cage and proves that, whatever strategy will be effective, we will see on that very day. But all we can do is speculate.
Yep, speculate. Now, speaking of speculation, man, this one is different. This one feels a little bit different because we've got the Englishman, Aiden Lee, right? Aiden Lee, who is a veteran of Cage Warriors and the Bellator European Series, right? He's got a win over Ludwig Klein, who's in the UFC. Finished Ludwig back at Cage Warriors 87, right? Sal Rogers, that is if you follow Bellator, that's a pretty decent name. But unfortunately, Aiden losing that effort, lost to Aaron Pico via Anaconda choke, right? So that's him. Now we got Henry OK Corrales, right? Corrales, even though he lives in Arizona now, he is very much a Southern California and specifically Orange County, California guy, training out of De La O Jiu-Jitsu with John De La O and the rest of the Jim Crashers family, like Robert and Dondo. Yeah. And who could forget that vicious fucking KO that Henry basically administered to Aaron Pico that fucking went viral. And again, that's one thing about a Corrales, right? You can never say that he, has tin cans, right?
Hey, we were there for that match. We were there in the arena for that match.
Yeah, absolutely. But
I remember seeing you.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, that was at the Fabulous Forum in Inglewood, California.
Ryan Lilly was on that card. Ryan Lilly was.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. You know, but this is this is actually fun, right? Because shout out to Carlos Ramirez, the current matchmaker of Lights Out Extreme Fighting and formerly CXF, because
Mhm.
uh, he Carlos actually started out matchmaking,
Mhm.
uh, and that promotion that he match made for that him and his brother put together was Long Beach
Mhm.
Fight Night, and
Mhm.
Henry Corrales was on the first two incarnations of Long Beach Fight Night, and that is, if you were there, you know what's up, and
Mhm. Mhm.
that is sometimes that kind of are looked back very fondly for people who attended. So that's awesome. But wins over rest in peace Cooper Gibson back in 2013 at King of the Cage Validation. He's been in there with Daniel Strauss, former world champion, Emmanuel Sanchez, fucking
Mhm.
great fighter, Patricio Pitbull, Cody
Mhm.
Bollinger, Node
Mhm.
Lot. That's two UFC, Cody Bollinger and Node Lot, former UFC competitors. Georgie Karakian, who
Mhm.
is a jiu-jitsu ace, right? Fucking been in there
Mhm.
with Pico, beat Pico, as we said. Been in there with former world champions Darion Caldwell and current champion Juan the Spaniard Archuleta, right?
Mhm.
Went in there with fucking Johnny Campbell after Johnny Campbell's, basically becoming viral because the fight before this, Johnny Campbell damn near fucking has his cauliflower ear torn
Mhm.
off. Shout out to Johnny Cupcakes Campbell. But yeah, man, you can't say that Henry Corrales the fucking ducks and dodges fucking fights, man, because this dude is in it, we win it, and just beat Vladislav Parubenko.
Mhm.
That's what I'm
Mhm.
going with. At
Mhm.
Bellator 268 in
Mhm.
October of last year. But he faces Aiden Lee. I got Henry Corrales. I mean, that dude's a friend. That's a good brother. Treated me with nothing but love. That whole what is it? The fucking scrum right before the Julia Budd Chris Cyborg fight at the Forum, right? And that was pretty cool. Got to be on the Paramount lot and whatever. And Henry Corrales and fucking Jacob Parga of Iridium was just so nice, so
Mhm.
kind. Made sure we
Mhm.
got the rounds and everything. Me and Robert from Gym Crashers. So again, fucking Henry Corrales. That's home team. I mean, he's in
Hey
Arizona now,
man,
but
straight up.
he's home team.
Hey, I like Henry Corrales.
Yeah,
I remember him when I was in the amateurs. I used to see him a lot on Instagram. I like the way he fights. He's straight
yeah,
up with it. You know, he brings it. He brings entertainment, and that's what I'm looking for.
yeah,
He is definitely a complete fighter. So I have no problem picking home team on this one too, man. Henry
yeah,
Corrales,
yeah, man.
candidate for fight of the night.
This could be because I don't think that Aiden Lee is going to go down easy. I don't,
Yeah,
I don't see that.
he's gonna be a very good boxer.
Yeah,
Corrales is a good boxer too. So let's
yeah, he
see
is.
that British boxing versus that Mexican boxing. What's up? What's up?
Yeah,
What's up? Let's go. I want to see it.
yeah, fuck, man. And I mean, some of the that boxing coming from Bruce, who trained out of John De La O's De La O Jiu Jitsu for many years before he unfortunately passed away right before COVID. So some of that that boxing prowess that
Mm-hmm.
Bruce essentially administered lives through Henry Corrales right now and has been refined out there in Arizona with
Mm-hmm.
Fight Ready MMA. The
Mm-hmm.
Fight Ready with all the creepy short guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
That
Mm-hmm.
that Fight Ready. No, we kid. Even though Arsaban is fucking creepy, um, I'm saying that, but the video's not saying that. That he's fucking creepy, but he creates winners. He creates champions. So can't can't. I'm not mad at it, man. But this one is the co-main event of the evening. We have 21-1 Islam Magomedov, right, going against former UFC champion Benson Smooth Henderson. Now, in
Mhm.
terms of Islam Mamedov, right, beat former Bellator champion Brett Primus, the Primal Primus, right? Uh, and then spent a lot of his career. Well, I wouldn't say a lot of his career, but yeah, at least two fights of his career in the PFL, Professional Fighters League, fighting at
Mhm.
PFL 5 and actually 2, 5, 8, and 9. All right.
Mhm.
And then,
Mhm.
having one fight in UAE, United Arab Emirates Warriors
Mhm.
14, before moving
Mhm.
on to Bellator,
Mhm.
where first fight in Bellator, he fights and beats a former world champion in his first fight. That's
Mhm.
something fucking special, right?
Mhm.
Now we go to Smooth, who, I mean, almost doesn't need a fucking introduction, but because of what he's done, he is unfortunately one who lives in infamy because he's the one
Mhm.
that got kicked by Anthony Pettis back in WEC in the
Mhm.
Showtime kick, and you see his
Mhm.
hair fall, or
Mhm.
hair fly through that. But it's wild because he is on a 5 fight losing streak, and in
Mhm.
just wrestling. I mean, not just wrestling, but in just combat sports in general, right?
Mhm.
A
Mhm.
fight to win, losing to Marcio Andrade as well as
Mhm.
Edward Najimi, right?
Mhm.
Then he gets KO'd by Michael Chandler, then
Mhm.
uses a unanimous decision to Jason Jackson, and then
Mhm.
loses to Brett Primus, and that but beats Ben Killer B Saunders on UFC Fight Pass Invitational, right?
Mhm.
Prior to that, as wins over Miles the Fury Jury, Adam Piccolotti,
Mhm.
um, Sadawad, Roger
Mhm.
Huerta, beat
Mhm.
AJ Agazam in
Mhm.
Polaris, right?
Mhm.
Grappling, but losing to both Patricky Pitbull and Michael Chandler, but beat Patricio Pitbull, Patricky's brother. And then obviously back in the UFC, beat Jorge Masvidal, pre Street Jesus, been in there with Brandon Thatch, beat him by rear naked choke, lost to Donald Cowboys Aroni, lost to RDA. He's been in there with like some of the best. He's a great himself, one of the all time greats.
Mhm.
But I just feel like the Russian might have his number.
Mm. I think so too, man. Ben Henderson, he reached the mountaintop, defended several times in the UFC before he left and went for the money.
Yeah,
Uh, the man has had a wonderful career, no blemishes. He passed every drug test. He was smooth with it. You know what I'm saying? Respect to him.
yeah,
Right now, he's fighting out the fights in his contract. You know,
yeah.
when you stack up 5 losses and you're still giving more fights, you know what I'm saying? They're trying to get their money back. That's pretty much
What
what it is, and
Which,
I
I mean,
understand.
to be fair, right? Yes, it's
Mm-hmm,
5 total losses in combat sports, right? But
mm-hmm,
that's
mm-hmm.
not exclusive to Bellator, because in Bellator he's only lost his last 3 fights, right? And
Okay,
you could make an
let's
argument.
just
I
say
mean,
let's just say 3 fight losing streak then.
right?
You know what I mean? But we got this insane Russian
Yeah,
whose last loss was like his second or third fight, and right now he's 20-1 and one draw.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? He's on a
yeah.
tear. Ben
Yeah,
Henderson lately, Ben Henderson lately, those who have heavy hands, he tends to lose to because he's an older fella now. He's using this more, you know.
right.
He's
1,000%.
weighing it out. He's weighing it out and seeing, this is too dangerous. This is safer, and I'm gonna take the safest route. And when those heavy hitters start hitting, what it is. I believe this Russian is going to be a heavy hitter.
Yeah,
Islam Mamadov. So I'm going with Islam as well. All respect to Ben Henderson. I hope he comes out safe.
yeah.
But I'm still going with Islam on this one.
I I couldn't agree with you more. And I'm a Benson Henderson fan. We've got a
Me
couple
too.
of his figures here, and you know, uh, obviously we wish it could have been better, um, more story to career, but it is,
It is what it is.
it is what it is, 100%. But speaking of,
Warriors
it
will
is,
fight.
yeah,
Warriors will fight. It is what it is. Warriors will fight.
no, 1,000%, 1,000%. But we are at the main event of the evening. We have interim Bellator World Heavyweight Champion. He is none other than Valentin Moldavsky, right? Valentin, 11-1, right? Been in there and beats Roy Nelson, Tim Johnson, Javi Ayala, Linton Vassell, right? If you're a long time, Bellator fans, you know what fucking Linton Vassell could do. He was literally undefeated up until going against Moldavsky, right? Um, are the Samoan brother Carl Samu Fanufa? Tufa. Uh, he's been in there. Carl Albrechtsen, who he beat in Risen. Carl Albrechtsen, for the time that he was in the States, was training with none other than Josh Barnett, right? And the CMMA crew, right? And the UWF USA crew. So these are, to me, big wins. So anybody that says, "Oh, he has an interim championship or whatever," that's just because Bader was, defending his light heavyweight championship, right? But this guy has beaten some of the best in Russia, his native Russia, best in Japan, and the best in Bellator. You know, now we go over to the UFC and Bellator world champion, current Bellator world champion Ryan Darth Bader, right? He lost the championship to Corey Anderson, but beat Lyoto Machida. Did a little grappling with Mason Fowler, didn't work out his way. But then he grappled Anthony Rumble Johnson at Submission Underground. That was a little bit better. Vadim Nemikov lost. He gets KO'd. No contest with Czech Congo because he basically poked Czech Congo's eye, right? KO'd Fedor. I was there. Jesus Christ. I was there with fucking Ryan Lilly when that shit happens. And I was like, oh shit. Like I was posting on my phone. And Lilly fucking goes nuts, berserko, and goes like, fuck, Fedor got KO'd. And I look up and Fedor's just fucking sprawled the fuck out,
out.
man.
He was
Yeah.
out. We were at
Beating
that one too. That's the
Yeah,
same one.
absolutely.
That's the
Yeah, that
same
was the same
card.
one. Yeah,
Yeah.
with Henry Corrales and fucking Pico.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit was wild, man. But fuck, I mean, I can say everything that I want to say about Ryan Bader, and I mean, right after he won the Grand Prix, met up at the hotel and shit like that, and I've got a picture with Bader with both belts, and fuck, Bellator, hey, fucking UFC, you don't have the most good-looking belts anymore. Fucking Bellator, PFL, those belts are fucking beautiful, right? One championship, their belt is fucking beautiful. So, but yeah, I have a picture with fucking Bader with both belts and everything. Just absolutely amazing. But as much as I love Ryan Bader, I don't think I mean, he's got a Russian fucking I wouldn't say mercenary, but definitely an assassin. Valentin is an assassin, right? Who's beaten everybody except for one blemish that has come his way, right? And again, best in Russia, best in Japan, Denmark even, because I think that's where Carl Albrechtsen is from. But Jesus Christ, and I think Valentin unifies the titles. And maybe I'm going to say, since this is a 5-round fight, this might be a third round KO for Valentin.
Ryan Bader will not make it out of the first round.
Really?
He won't make it out of the first round.
Damn, I was trying to fucking give her
the Russian knows.
propers.
The Russian knows. He knows. The Russian knows. The Russian knows. He knows. There's a certain pressure that, when implied upon Ryan Bader, he folds. Because he's a smart man. He's a smart man. That's why his career has been so long. You know, he analyzes rather quickly, and he sees, okay, this is going to be a threat, so let's shut it down rather early and go home so I can kiss the kids, tuck the kids in, and still be able to do things like that. He doesn't want to take damage. He is not that guy that will exchange with you. He's quick to take you down and smash you, but he doesn't like to get hit.
No.
He hates it. He hates getting hit, and I'm not mad at him. Why would you want to get hit? I mean, why would you be okay with getting hit? That's the rationale, right? So,
Valentine,
on the other hand, he knows this, so he's going to bring the pressure. I don't think Bader makes it out of first.
Well, you make a very compelling argument, and especially based on what we see, Bader's almost getting not as bad as Bob Sapp, but you know, when the fight can go and get stuff, fucking cash them fucking checks, you know. So I don't know. I'm still excited to see what all this entire card. Again, we're without a UFC this weekend. That will recommence or reconvene rather next week. But we got fucking Bellator on Saturday, Royal Rumble on Sunday. Mild.
Whoa. Are you sure Royal Rumble is not on Saturday? I think it's Saturday.
Is it on Saturday?
I believe so.
Please don't make me fucking pick, because I'm picking Bellator.
Look into that. Make sure you look into
Royal. Let me see. Rumble 2022. Royal Rumble. Let's see. I don't want to misspeak. And yes, how to say that you're not watching as much WWE without saying it? That's I fucking showed my cards. The WWE lately is unwatchable. Hey, if you want a fucking good fucking wrestling show, go on fucking Fight TV. Just search up GCW. Any fucking shit that they got, GCW is way better. GCW, Game Changer Wrestling. They do fucking Effie's Big Gay Brunch. They do Josh Barnett's Bloodsport. They do Joey Janela's Spring Break. If you're a wrestling, if you like deathmatch shit, if you like fucking pure ass pro wrestling,
explosion match.
Not so much explosion, but definitely the barbed wires and light tubes and shit like that. They got you covered. You know, some of the best women's wrestlers go through. Then and they, you know, fucking Jeff Jarrett just did a run in GCW. You know, so it's fucking GCW is awesome. And you're right. Yes, it is this Saturday. So I'm fucking watching Bellator first, and then I'm gonna watch this fucking mild ass Royal Rumble. The only thing that I'm actually excited for is obviously Mckee James, who was fired from the WWE, or released as they say, and they stuffed all of her fucking gear in a trash bag and sent it to her house. But she's the reigning Impact Wrestling world women's champion, right? The Knockouts world champion, right? She's in there as well as fucking Johnny Knoxville. So I know there's going to be a comedy spot, but I love fucking Jackass, so fuck yeah, bring it on, man. So we got we got both things. We got Bellator, you got WWE on Peacock and Showtime respectively. So go ahead and fucking have fun. And Takeya says, hey guys, I will see you next Thursday because I'm going to sleep, and have a wonderful night, y'all. Good night, guys. Good night to all you guys. Yes, you guys are awesome. Have a fucking great weekend. Watch some fights, and then when you get done watching fights or the pro wrestling and what have you, come back here Sunday, and we'll wrap all this shit up in another amazing Voodoo in the Woods. You guys, we are out.